This is my globalization project. The scientific revolution is the development of mathematics, physics, and biology. Johannes Kepler played a big role in the scientific revolution movement. He was a German mathematician, astronomer, and astrologer. He is known for the laws of planetary motion. He also founded that each planet has its own path of orbit, the sun is the center of the universe, and the earth revolves around the sun. He also explained the seasons and how the earth runs. He also provided many foundations for other theories. This is important because things that I learn in science today started from Johannes Kepler, and we just build on his ideas. Next comes Enlightenment, and John Locke played an important role in the Enlightenment era. He is an English philosopher and physician. He is known as the father of classical liberalism. Locke founded the theory of mind, and he influenced many of the founding fathers of America. He has many theories that we use in our daily lives today: the political theory, price theory, and social contract. He influenced the writing of the Declaration of Independence from the liberal theory, and he is well known for the two treaties of government. This affects me because John Locke left his legacy on how the world runs today. Next comes exploration. Portugal led the exploration back in 1420. Portuguese sailors went around the tip of Africa to India for spices. Christopher Columbus believed he could reach Asia by sailing west instead of east. Instead, in October 1492, he reached America and explored the Cuban coastline. John Cabot, another sailor, explored the New England coastline, and Amerigo Vespucci wrote letters describing the land he saw, and he called it America, after his name, Amerigo. The Europeans called these new lands the New World. This affects me because had not these people founded America, the world would be very different because everyone would. Next comes the Columbian Exchange. This transformed the economy activity in both worlds. The exchange of plants and animals between Europe and the Americas. This ended up boosting the population in Europe. Guns went to Africa for exchange of slaves. Europeans brought many diseases that killed the Native Americans. Europeans forced natives to work. Cash crops boosted the economy in Europe. Europeans ended up introducing slaves into the New World for work. New religion, language, and culture and government were also developed during the Columbian Exchange. This affects me today because this is how the world runs on trade and also relying on other nations for goods. Next comes imperialism. Imperialism is pretty much taking over a nation and claiming it for your own country so that you gain more power. Social Darwinism and racism is connected to imperialism. Powerful countries would take over natives for resources, and they would use force to take them over. The white man's burden was developed by the United States of America, and it was bringing the Christian message to people having Western views and living styles. An example of this white man's burden was the Spanish-American War, which took place in Manila Bay in 1898. President McKinley said that it was his moral obligation to civilize, so he ended up turning in the Philippines into an American colony. And this was also a good place to trade with China. This affects me today because I'm a part of the United States, and pretty much all the land that we have was used by imperialism force. Next comes World War I. This was the first global war fought between powerful nations. Torpedoes was a new invention created for World War I. It was shot out of a submarine, and there was nothing you could do to stop a torpedo. Once it hit your ship, there was no mistaking for it. Torpedoes were one of the most deadliest weapons used in this war. New technologies were constantly being developed during this war. This war was the first war that was fought on three playing surfaces: land, air, and sea. Wars now became global after this. This war was known as the Great War. This affects me because this was the start of the technology era, and now we have come so far since World War One, creating all these new technologies, and we pretty much rely on all these technologies to run our lives daily. Last comes World War Two. World War Two was the second global war that was fought. A major event that happened in World War Two was Pearl Harbor. This happened on December 7, 1941. The Japanese attacked US ships. The main attack method for the Japanese was with airplanes. 2,403 Americans were killed and 1,178 were injured. This attack ended up shocking the US. America became outraged and later became involved in World War II after this event. All 8 US Navy ships that were present during Pearl Harbor were damaged. This affects me because my grandpa was in the army during this time, and he had a first-hand account of Pearl Harbor. This was one of the darkest days in America's history. This hits me hard because this is where I live, and to see what happened back 70 years ago was terrible.